Yama, 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 yama.
Oh!
Yama.
We got him!
Yama, 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 yama.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't let this voodoo mumbo jumbo scare you.
Yama, 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 yama.
We are back, not just the unrestricted, but the San Antonio fucking Spurs. Oh, give it to me.
Once in a lifetime?
Oh, are you kidding?
Lightning striking 3 times?
Three
in San Antonio?
times.
Wow, the last time I heard somebody get excited about a card being turned over, it was a gambling addict in Vegas.
But this is better than that, dude.
Edit
This
that
is the
joke.
balls dropping. This is the balls dropping like yours when you were 17.
Have yours yet?
Dude, can you believe it? Like that, we are downtown, by the way, in an emergency pod of the unrestricted. Vex, RC the Bulldog, Bob, and our man Bear joining us tonight. What's up, Bear?
Not much, man.
It's
Glad
good to
be
see
here.
you.
Good to see
We've been wanting to have you forever, so this is great to have you as a huge Spurs fan. Downtown is nuts. They're honking left and right. We drove here. I drove through downtown, guys. It's bananas. I don't know, man. Like, am I going to wake up tomorrow and the Spurs are still going to have the number 1 pick? Is this facts?
It's facts, buddy.
It's unreal we're going to get Brandon Miller.
I just didn't think Victor was that good.
Yeah.
And so we're going with Scoot.
It's victory. It's victory is what it is.
V for victory. That's his nickname?
I mean, it
Are
has
you
to be.
calling it now?
I mean, today is victory, right? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
San Antonio.
look, you don't tank for nothing, right? And when Detroit fell out,
Did you see how fucking mad Ben Wallace was?
I did.
Oh, my God.
I wanted you to try to fight him with a baseball bat and a gun.
I wouldn't fight him with Bear and Nelson.
No,
Nuh-uh.
and a gun.
All the Nelsons.
Ben Wallace
he's crazy.
was pissed.
Oh, my God. He was
And
mad.
I don't know about you guys, but as I was watching, I was thinking, okay, who's going to be the first team to drop? And every card that gets turned over, I'm like, please don't be the Spurs signal. Please, just don't be the Spurs sign. And then Detroit came up at 4, and I was like, losers.
Oh, and then Houston came up. Oh,
They took
fuck
a
Houston.
shit. They took a shit and fell to 4. And then I was like, wait a minute. Now there's only 2 teams left.
They were 5, I thought.
Or maybe was
Yeah,
it
they were
5?
5.
Was it 5? I apologize.
Detroit, I think. Detroit did their work. The lowest they could get was 5. And I think
You're
they got
exactly
And that's what
right.
they
The
got.
worst they could get was 5, and they got 5. You're exactly right.
Portland moved up to 4.
You're
Now,
right.
that would've
And
been
Charlotte
scary
was
as
in
shit.
it. And Charlotte was in it
Portland
too.
3.
Portland's
3.
up at 3,
That's
Houston
right.
at 4.
Houston
But when Detroit took a shit, I was like, wait a minute. Now there's only 2 teams left with
And
a
our odds are
14%
getting
chance.
better.
It's us and Houston.
And then Houston was 4.
Then Houston goes,
And
and
that
it's
was
like,
8.
wait a minute. Now it's Charlotte, Portland, and us. We have better odds. It's got to be us. And in fact, it was. And I don't know about you guys. I ran around my house freaking out. We got Wemby. We got Wemby. I have not done that since 1997. And I felt like I was.
When you found out you weren't gay.
No, when we got Tim Duncan, you dick.
Oh, okay.
I was having dinner at a place of ill repute, and man, people were going crazy as the 4th pick was announced.
Oh, yeah.
They were getting excited.
Well, everyone that goes by,
Yeah.
obviously the odds are better.
Once Detroit and Houston, I mean,
That was
Detroit
it.
alone, that was big.
It was
And
huge.
Houston's gone. It was unbelievable. Yeah, I made my girlfriend.
Did y'all have a good feeling coming into this
I did.
lottery?
I did.
Okay, so I did too, right up until the point where I read today that Brian Wright, our general manager, was going to be our representative. I read that today. And I was like, no, not him. Like, nothing against Brian Wright, but he just doesn't look lucky. He looks like he has upset, mad.
He's got dog face.
Yeah, he's got dog face.
Sad dog
He's
face.
got sad dog face.
Wee wee.
So when they actually started the telecast, and it was JP, JP Holt, JP,
I think so.
yeah, Holt.
Hey, he's French too.
I was like, hey, we got a chance at this, and he looked all chipper,
Oh yeah.
all chipper,
was shitting his
and I was like,
pants.
okay, we're lucky, let's go, we got this. Holy shit, guys! Seriously, since 1997, I have not felt this way in a long time, and I feel honestly kind of the same way I did when I was whatever that was, 22 years old.
I think this is even crazier.
It kind of
I mean,
is.
Okay.
Odds. I think Robinson's odds we were 25%.
Yeah, because the
Duncan
lottery was different.
right? And Duncan was like 21%, and this was 14.
So
And
this
then-
is like getting struck by lightning.
I mean, it's not quite that literally. But,
No,
Math is hard.
yeah,
for some.
It always has been.
but I mean, it's and just this might be the best prospect ever.
Yeah, so I'm sure, Bear, that you're plugged in and watching him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely.
I mean, it's, the smart move is not to trade out of the first spot and get like 3 for 1.
Yeah,
That's
no,
not the play,
no,
right? Like,
definitely not.
this is the guy. This is the guy. I mean, I was reading a Forbes article not 2 weeks ago that said that it was $500 million to $1 billion worth of value added to the Spurs if they won the lottery.
Yeah. I mean, it changes the course of the franchise for sure.
It changes our city. It changes
100%.
everything.
We're instant contenders.
Yeah. I mean, it's sort of cool.
Well, I asked Bear, I said, what's the starting lineup look like now? And he said, the only thing that you can guarantee is that Wemby starts.
Yeah.
I think now you got. We were talking about it earlier. Just you make a push to go all in, and in his first contract, I think is 4-year rookie deal.
Yeah, 3 with an option
With
always.
an option, but it's a
yeah.
player, it's a team option.
Yeah, so it's always
So
4.
unless he got injured or something. But
Yep.
you try to win a title then, and in today's NBA, if you don't, and you're in San Antonio, he might leave.
So that's interesting because my first thought is tap the brakes, Bear. Like, we do not have to go all in all at once with a 19-year-old who still weighs 215 pounds. But at the same time, you can look at Dallas and say, look, the Luka Doncic window is only this big, right? And they've had him since day one, and they haven't done diddly squat
I
with
would
it.
argue there's no championship window for Doncic. I mean, you need a dominant two-way player, and he's not that.
He's not that.
He's not
No.
that. So you need a LeBron. You need a Jason Tatum. You need.
But we're already. I guess my point is we're already hearing that Luka may want to go somewhere
Oh, yeah.
else,
No,
right?
right.
Like
Sure.
they had their window maybe already,
Right.
and now it's over. So like, okay, my instinct is to say tap the brakes. Like, you don't have to go trade for Damian Lillard like tomorrow. You don't have to do that. And by the way,
Let's do it on Monday then.
that's already out there.
Oh yeah.
in the Twitterverse.
Someone like that. I mean, just a bad version of James Harden. I mean, just going for it would be the move. I don't think there's a player on the roster. There's a lot of young guys. So like Sochan and
Vassell.
and I mean
Keldon.
maybe Keldon, but like
Is Keldon a poor man's Green?
Which Green? Danny Green?
No, the Draymond.
Oh no, not at all. No, not similar. But
he's undersized and I mean whatever.
Yeah,
He's an
and not a
NBA
power
player,
forward.
but he's not.
he's a
an
good player.
on the team,
but definitely he is a trade asset. If the Spurs are going to make that move for a Damian Lillard, we'll just go with that for a minute. Yeah, Keldon Johnson's available.
I think everybody's
honestly,
available except for Sochan and Vassell.
Even
I
then,
think
I mean, they're
Sochan
so
is.
young.
I think Sochan is definitely available, and Vassell is the only guy. If it were me, if I were Brian Wright, Vassell's the only guy I wouldn't touch. And the only reason is, I love his length on defense. I think he scores well on offense within the offense without having to do it one-on-one. So I like him as a cutter behind Victor. And then Zach Collins, like.
Is he that good?
No, he's not good. But you know what he is? He's a fucking bodyguard.
well, that's what we need.
And you have to have a bodyguard. If you're going to have Victor, you better have somebody with his back.
Yeah.
And if Charles Oakley were still available, I'd want him too.
I was looking at the roster tonight. We need a big body that can go eat 6 fouls and make sure Victor doesn't get hurt.
Because Victor, to your point, Richie, if you're asking about the starting 5, Victor's not the 5. He's the 4.
Yeah. We need a pipe hitting center
Yeah. And I
that
think for
rebounds
now,
and has his back.
I mean, you
for
almost-
now, that's Zach Collins.
I would make a case that it makes it so fluid that you don't need that necessarily to start. That you could, if you could start 6-7 across the board, and then have Wemby in the middle and
just play positionless
just
ball.
play positionless.
Now, I
and-
would love that, and I would guess that eventually it'll get there,
yeah.
right?
I mean, we need a point guard, and then those guys like Vassell or somebody to kind of
Trey
grow.
Jones doesn't cut it for a starting point guard, not for me anyway.
Yeah, I mean, he's a back.
He's a
back.
very good backup
Right.
in this league, but
Okay.
not a starter.
Who do we get first then? Let's say we go by Bears' rationale, and I like it. Because look at how fickle the NBA is. Look
Remember
how many coaches don't have jobs today, and they fucking took their teams to the playoffs.
Well, yeah, but you're talking about Monty Williams, who's a terrible head coach. Absolutely terrible. The only reason he won in Phoenix is because he got Chris Paul. I'm sorry, Monty Williams, great guy, bad coach. Doc Rivers, who's lost more Game 7s than anybody else in the history of the league. Like, I don't know. Nick Nurse is the one head coaching name out there that I'm like, he's a really good head coach. Yeah. And somebody's going to get him, and they're going to be happy.
Who do we go after for a point guard? It's like that's first order.
Fred VanVleet.
I mean, he's going to be an option. I mean, Kyrie could be an option.
But do we want that shit?
No, you don't want Kyrie.
Don't, but the thing is,
did you just throw up in your mouth a little bit?
The league is so star driven now that, like, I think that is a path. A path is finding a second star and then plugging in vets around them.
I think that the Spurs young guys are actually really good role players. Trey Jones, for instance, second-year player, 2 years in the league, I should say, but like a really good, solid backup point guard as a role. Devin Vassell, a role player, really good at it. I think Keldon Johnson can fill a role. All of our young guys are actually really good role players. So to your point, like if you do add superstar X.
So we need a Robin to bat.
Well, I think if we do superstar, then we'll keep the young core and we'll have holes. If we go veterans, those guys won't play.
You can't overhaul this team that quickly to veterans.
I mean, you can't.
Can you?
I agree, but the clock's ticking. I mean,
started tonight.
We just got the ping pong ball like 11 minutes ago.
You got to think. Okay, Pop is what, almost 80.
Yeah.
Okay, lucky that he, however you view it, that he's still there.
I do.
Clearly, this was kind of if the stars had aligned, this was a plan. So he can't
fuck around,
grow this team for 4 years. I mean, he might be dead.
Well, that's okay. It's true. He's aging. Yeah.
And so I think, and also, given a star in a small market team, you need to win. And I don't know if you win with like Vassell starting at the 2. I don't think you win a title. You might win 45 games and make an 8 seed.
I don't know, Bear. I just don't see it. I think 3 years, 4 years out sounds really good to me. Like winning in year 1, it's not really an option, or like Duncan did in his second year. Like,
I get that, but you want to have, let's say Victor is everything we think he is. We haven't won anything, and he's a free agent. And you're confident that young core is going to keep him in San Antonio when the Lakers are going to offer him the max deal, star of the city, and everything else you could imagine.
I'm just saying you got to be blooming in year 3 or 4 of Victor.
I mean, I agree, except even losing in the Western Conference Finals. Year 4, you got the Lakers knocking with $300 million, and they've got whoever it is.
It's just not that big a deal, I don't think, in the NBA anymore.
I think maybe you don't remember when Tim almost went to Orlando.
I do,
because
and it was sad.
And Orlando was kind of not good, and that was close. It was scary.
It was kind of good. Yeah,
like he
it was
almost
close.
Went.
Yeah,
and so I think this would be a bigger. Guys will move like that now.
I don't know. I don't see it that way.
So Bear, what do you think is a realistic progression for keeping Victor through his full career? What are we looking at?
I mean,
8 seed next year.
I think. I mean,
semis, conference championship the year after, finals in his 3rd year.
Realistically, competing for the title every year. I mean, that his rookie year. There's going to be some transitions, obviously. So that's asking too much. But I mean, this should be like Shaq going to Orlando
by year 3. It's about by year 3. Like, look, Giannis Antetokounmpo's still in Milwaukee, and Zion Williamson
Giannis
is
wasn't
still
the first pick.
No, he wasn't, but he immediately
didn't have a lot of expectations.
Zion Williamson was,
and he got hurt,
and he's still there.
And if they won, but didn't, if he was healthy and playing, and no one wants him now. I mean, he can't play.
But the Lakers would definitely throw $300 million at him.
Not at Zion now. No, I don't think anybody would, because he can't play. He's played like 50 games the last 3 years.
I don't know.
If they had won enough, but not it, he'd be gone.
I mean, you still have Luka sitting in Dallas.
That would be interesting.
Rumblings of him not being happy.
Yeah, but he's a few in. Like, anyway, the point is you do have to get good quick.
Yeah.
Okay? Year 1 is not the year. Like, I don't expect
I agree.
a roster overhaul to get rid of the young guys and bring in the vets.
We're going to make the playoffs next year.
Whew. You look at the West; it's not that easy, but I would think so.
We're
I would
gonna
think
make the
so.
playoffs next year.
Certainly the play-in at the very least.
If we don't make the playoffs, then Wemby got hurt.
Yeah, that's
there's
probably
no
right.
way.
That's probably right. And by the way, cool things about Wemby. Just real quick. Just
Give me some
side,
knowledge.
Side note. Like, this guy is so heady. Okay, he's got a personal trainer who works with him only on small muscle foot exercises. Okay?
Oh, because you're always talking about big men and
Big
their
men and
feet.
feet.
Because big men and feet.
Chet
Because
Holmgren.
Rick Smits and fucking everybody, right?
Oh, Rico was watching a video of Chet working out, and he goes, "What a puss!" He's like, "I can bitch more than that guy."
When Victor played Chet in like the U16 internationals, I watched that game, and Victor ate Chet's fucking lunch. And Chet Holmgren was no joke. And Wembanyama absolutely just stuffed him all around the court.
I mean, the only thing you need to see is when he misses that three, catches
just
it
dunks the
off the
rebound.
iron and fucking dunks it.
Which is, I think, in the history of the world, never
Never been
happened
done.
before.
That's the sickest
The
shit I've
biggest
ever
thing
seen.
right now
It
is
is.
going to keeping him healthy. That's going to be. He's
Does
such a
he-
weird, freaky guy that you just never know.
Yeah, I mean, he's the first person I've ever seen to enter an NBA draft who's saying, no, I'm actually not as tall as you think I am. I'm not 7'6". I'm actually 7'5".
Yeah.
You realize that he's measuring 7'5" without shoes.
Yeah.
Without shoes.
No, it's-
If
Did
he
you
grows an
see-
afro,
Did you see the
he's
video?
gonna be 10 foot tall.
6'7", 6'9" with the afro.
Fletch is 6'3".
Did you see the
6'5" and a half
video
with
of
afro.
him like at his like party tonight where
Oh, yeah,
he's
his
standing
head-
up
his
He can't stand up.
in a room that's probably the same height as the one we're in, and his head is hitting the fucking ceiling?
This is watching him when you see that picture of him with Rudy Gobert, and then you watch Gobert on the court, and it looks like a monster.
Like he's
Gobert
an ogre.
looks like a
He does.
monster, and
He
then,
does.
And Gobert looked tiny next to him.
He does. You're right.
That was like,
he's,
holy shit.
He's bigger than Gobert
Yeah.
and shoots like Durant.
because he
and
walks normal. He doesn't
dribbles.
lumber around. So
it's
No, but
pretty
the guy-
astonishing.
The guy moves like a point guard, and he's 7'5".
Yeah, it's the answer to the question: what if Kevin Durant was 7'5"? Like,
And-
who's ever even asked that?
And had a personality. This kid has a personality.
Yeah,
He's. What I wonder is San Antonio a good fit for this kid?
Oh, he thinks San Antonio's the perfect
Because
fit for him.
Tony Parker owned his team. Tony's been grooming him.
Good.
Did you
Like
s-
this has been in the works since the kid was fucking 14.
Yes, it has.
And all the stars aligned, and we love a good conspiracy theory. And as you said, love them when they work out for you.
I love it when a
I mean, of
conspiracy
all the
works out in my
conspiracy
favor.
theories, this was the most logical one.
It was.
And then I thought maybe Portland because the NBA wants Lillard to stay in Portland.
They do.
So I thought those were the only two.
Yeah.
Charlotte, fuck Charlotte, and
Yeah.
then the other two.
There's no conspiracy
Those other
there.
Detroit and Houston are just a disaster. So like you didn't want the guy to go there. He
But
wouldn't
Portland
go
still gets a really high pick.
Yeah, Portland-
So
Portland-
you know,
Portland's going to be good.
well, they'll be better. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know, but they didn't get Victor. We
Nope,
did.
Yeah.
We did.
So did y'all by any chance catch the reaction video on Twitter of Victor and his mom and dad
When
and a couple of his other friends?
Yeah.
Where he is thrilled when San Antonio gets pulled up. He's thrilled.
I bet he eats for free at all Damon Wattel restaurants.
I bet he eats
I'm
free
throwing
at every
that
taco stand.
anywhere he
eats
wants to
free
go.
anywhere in this town.
Yeah.
Yes, Damian Wattel definitely is giving him free steaks.
Free steaks.
Yes.
Duck
Free
fat.
French
Duck butter.
yes.
Whatever he wants.
French fries.
Duck on down
Yes.
and get you some.
Wow, ESPN flew Windhorse out to Paris for the reaction.
Wow. That's pretty dope.
I have the video up if you want me to pull up
Yeah,
the audio.
actually, if you will.
Victor, you found out a couple of moments ago you'll be following the footsteps of David Robinson, of Tim Duncan, great French players Boris Diaw, and Tony Parker. What are your emotions right now?
Can't really describe them, it's just my heart's beating. I got everyone I love, everyone I know around me. It's a really special moment I'm going to remember for the rest of my life.
There's American fans and NBA fans across the world
God,
who are still
Windhorse,
learning
get a
about
better
you.
audio
What is the
engineer.
NBA? What are the San Antonio Spurs getting with Victor Wembanyama?
A team player. I'm gonna make everything to win as many games as I can, and I'm trying to win a ring ASAP. So be ready.
So the San Antonio Spurs were tied up in knots. I talked to their general manager, Brian Wright, today. He's been not able to sleep for a week. Now that you know where you're going, what do you think you can take the Spurs? Where do you think you can take the Spurs next season?
I'm gonna try and bring my talents here. I love Texas. I've been there before.
He loves Texas.
Really happy, and I really can't wait to meet the fans and to meet hopefully the team I'm about to join in June.
Well, they look forward to meeting you. You're headed to San Antonio. Malika, back to you.
Yeah, this is payback for Vietnam.
What is up with Brian Windhorst's
I was going to say,
voice?
did Windhorst transition or something?
Did he?
I mean, that was like a woman interview.
I thought that was Cheryl. What's her name?
Hey, Victor. I'm Brian Windhorst. God, that was bad.
It was a long flight.
Were his legs tight? Oh, no,
I thought that was Sharon Miller. She's got bigger balls than him.
and a deeper voice, too.
Ain't gonna fall for no banana in the tailpipe.
Mr. Brian Windhorst, we do love you, so if you ever want to call in, you'd be more than welcome, though.
Yeah. Being that we only have 400 listeners, we could be picky. It's an elite group of douchebags that listen to our podcast.
But on the real, though, I do think that Victor Wembanyama is really, really happy to be a Spur.
I agree.
He has a relationship with Pop. He has the relationship with Tony. Obviously, with Boris Diaw, too. This goes back, as you mentioned, to, when he was 14 years old.
He's been groomed.
He's been around the Spurs for a long time. This is what I guarantee if you'd asked him in an honest moment before the draft, who do you want to go to? He would have said San Antonio.
Yeah. I think we might take it for granted here, but players love Pop.
Yeah, we take it for granted big
They
time.
love him. They want, and especially given just the current climate and stuff, but the NBA players love him.
All of them.
All of them. Every one of them.
After every game, they come over and they hug him and cry and the whole
vote.
deal.
And every coach and every trainer and every owner, everybody adores him and respects him, which is maybe more, right?
And players want to play. That's is part of the reason why there could be a big change coming with players, because people want to play for Pop, and now that we have Victor, they want to win.
So, you know what, Bear? I'm glad you brought that up, because one of the Spurs formulas for winning all the titles that we did in the early aughts and then the tens, right, was we always had guys, 1, 2, every single year, who were veterans, who had families, who had kids, who were done with the nightlife, but they wanted to be part of a championship team. And
Big Shot Bob.
Oh, the list is long. Michael Finley,
look at the league
Jerome
now.
Kersey, Steve Kerr. The list is really long.
Look at the 4 teams that are left in the playoffs now. It's all the same. That's how you win a title. You obviously have to have stars.
Yeah.
But you've got to have veterans that want to win at all costs and know what it takes. And look at all 4 teams. All 4 of those guys. It's not even an age thing. It's just in the league and getting to a certain point. They're all
of professionalism,
right?
And the Spurs were always really good at finding those guys who were like, "Hey, man, I'm ready. I'm done with my fuck it around time.
But I'm
ready to be a pro."
They seeked out San Antonio. So
they did.
What I'm saying is, when David Robinson came, that was a start over, right? And then remember, we got Terry Cummings and things like that, right? But Tim, we had David, we had people, and then Kawhi, we had Tim and Manu and Tony. We have nothing.
No.
So this is why I think it could be different.
I guess that's my point, is that we're coming back into that era where people are going to want to be back here again in the twilight of their career, or whenever they become, whenever their balls drop as a professional NBA basketball player. And like Michael Finley was a great example. That dude was so good in Dallas and in Minnesota before he came here. And we got him here and we were like, hey, man, we think you got a little tread left on the tire. And what we do, we go out and win a championship with him as one of our starting 5. And we haven't had that in San Antonio in the Aldridge, DeRozan years. Those guys have not wanted to be here. But now you got the dude and you've got Pop, who everybody wants to go play for. I think you can expect, guys like
I could see DeRozan coming back
Tell you what, that's actually a pretty interesting proposition.
because the guy's automatic 32 points.
Yeah, and he makes a lot of shots. He creates a lot of offense. It's not the worst idea I've ever heard. Honest. That's pretty good, Richie.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if he's available. I'd have to look. But, like, yeah, he works. He works.
Yeah.
He works. Fred
I'm not a
Van
fan.
Guys like
Why don't
Fred
you
Van
like him?
Vliet. He works.
He's on the wrong side of 30 and can't guard anybody.
Okay.
Well, that you could say the same thing about Damian Lillard. Wrong side of 30
But no,
and doesn't guard
The
anybody.
difference is
That guy's in MMA, though.
you don't bring Damian Lillard to play defense. So DeRozan, while he has scored a lot for the Bulls, they don't score as a team. So he's been having a lot of usage. If he came here, he would not have that. So he'd average 14 points a game and then be old. And Lillard can come here and average 30 until he's 40 years old.
Do you want
I don't- I'm
the
not saying
point
I
guard?
want Lillard.
Okay,
I'm not
okay.
saying I
I'm just
want Lillard.
asking. I'm just
Between
asking.
those two, I would want Lillard.
Do you want Lillard?
No, I'm not.
I don't
I'm not
either.
suggesting that.
I don't either.
But I do think
Who do you guys want? Let's say you
I'm telling
play
you.
GM.
I'm telling you.
You've
you
got the
bide,
checkbook.
You bide your time. Fred Van Vliet is interesting to me because he's good defensively.
We
because
still have a lot of draft capital, too, right?
there's still 2 more picks after Victor in this year's draft for the Spurs.
Is it deep, deep?
This draft?
Is the deepest ever, right?
Well, okay, it depends.
they're all
Are you
young.
loo-
It's hard to tell.
Yeah, are you looking for like world-changing talent, or are you looking for role players? Because this,
Well, you tell me. You're the GM.
well, look, if you have
You got the checkbook.
if you have second-round picks this year, Richard, like Zach Edey, who was the Player of the Year at Purdue,
Big motherfucker.
the big mofo,
The one I made fun of?
Now, there's
He
obviously
won't play in the NBA.
there's obviously no need for him, like, now that you have Victor. But, like, they're projecting him late second round. Drew Timme, late second round.
I love Timmy. Timmy's a
Oscar,
Spur.
Oscar Tshiebwe, who was a former player of the year, late second round. There's deep, deep, deep talent in this draft if you're just looking for role players, which is all the Spurs are going to be looking for because the star has landed.
Right. We need a Batman and then good role players.
Actually,
We've got a Batman. We need a Robin.
We also, like, you think about all of our teams. I mean, Kawhi's injuries derailed his career, but he was on the path to Hall of Fame caliber.
Maybe his uncle did.
And, well, right, that too. But, I mean, so he's not that. But our team, we had multiple Hall of Famers. Like, we don't think of it like that, but we did. I mean, now it's
Yes, of
now
course.
we literally did. But even
Yeah.
at the time, Manu was awesome. Tony
Yes.
was awesome. You know, Tim, obviously, David Robinson. Kawhi was on that track. We need that. we need another.
How do you dial
we
that
need
up?
another alpha dog at a different position. I mean, I think that's a no-brainer. I think I'm not saying it has to happen over the summer, but before his first contract is up, there will be another alpha dog on the Spurs.
Okay, so parenthetically, what you're saying is that currently constructed, the roster, without Victor, there are no future Hall of Famers.
No.
Fuck
And
no.
I agree with you 100%, right? So somehow you have to find Hall of Famers to play alongside of him.
They're
right?
going to want to have to come and play with Pop and with Wimbo.
But I think they'll want to. They'll want
Yama,
to.
yama, yama, yama,
Yama,
yama.
Or he's just victory.
I think they'll want to. The big V.
Hey, what's victory in
The big V.
What's victory in French? What's it sound like? Is it horrible or is it sexy? Look it up, bub.
It's probably victory.
Yeah, Victor.
It's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Victory.
I mean, if I had to guess, it's probably a French word.
La Victorie,
There's
Which
your
is-
T-shirt.
That's not bad.
which
There's
is
your
French,
T-
which is French for the victory.
Like El Nino. You know what El Nino means?
The
The
Nino.
The
Nino.
Nino. That's a T-shirt. La Victorie.
No, you're right. If you're gonna get to the point where you got to with Duncan, you're gonna have to have Hall of Famers surrounding him. And it took a Tony Parker pick in the late first
Yeah, we
round,
got lucky.
and a Manu Ginobili pick at
No,
56.
it takes
right?
a lot of luck.
Like it takes a ton of luck.
I'm
And,
feeling lucky though, boys.
Well, yeah, you would have to after tonight.
La Victorie.
But you
There's
can see-
guys. I like Blake Wesley like a lot. Like I think Blake Wesley
Who's
has.
he?
Yeah, exactly. So he was
Bear
point,
knows how to.
point guard.
Well, he
point
plays for
guard.
the Spurs.
Point guard.
Oh, he does?
Point guard we drafted
Oh,
last
wow.
summer out of Notre Dame. Super fast handle. Pushes the floor really, really fast.
Can he shoot?
A little bit, but not great.
He's going to be great for the Guangdong Dragons. In the Chinese league.
Scratch my dong, Dragons. He's gonna play with
DeMarcus Cousins
and Dylan. What's his name for the Shanghai Sharks?
No, he's got something.
Okay,
He's got something.
see, San Antonio, we have a love for these scrappy guys that work hard, and that's all great until you want to win a title.
until the grown-ups
And
come
then
on
you
the floor.
need some pipe-hitting motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And Wemby sets us up. Like, if you look at, like, LeBron, we're speculating that Victor's going to be.
LeBron, by the way, who's down like 20.
No, I know, but still, he's 52 years old.
God bless the Nuggets are good.
The,
I told you. They're winning. They're blowing these guys off the floor.
No, they're not.
What is it?
What's the score?
112 in the fourth, and the Lakers are only down by 5.
Yeah, well, it was 20 a minute ago.
that was ugly at halftime.
And by the way, I told you, Nuggets are boat racing the Lakers in this series. 5 games.
You think?
Anyway, go ahead, Bear.
I'm saying, okay, so if we think Victor is, I don't mean the type of player, but the type of impact that a LeBron or someone like Tim that would have, you could take LeBron and put him on the Pistons as a 38-year-old.
Yeah.
And they will be a top 5 seed.
That's correct.
That is what we have.
Yeah.
So do you think LeBron is going to be on that Pistons team and be like, oh, sure, like,
I'm good enough with this.
Jalen Duren, come on, we're going to go win it.
No, he's going to be swapped Jalen Duren. Same thing he did in Cleveland, right? Where he's like, Andrew Wiggins, yeah, he's nice, and he's
So
the number one
like
pick.
From a front office perspective, they have to be maybe not as ruthless as that, but they have to keep that in mind during this first window. And I think they have to get – I mean, he can't score – he's not going to score 30 something a game.
That's not who he is.
That's not his game. So we need, like, just a bucket.
Yeah.
You know? We don't have a bucket on the team.
That's why the DeRozan thing to me is kind of interesting.
Yeah,
If you're running DeRozan like off dribble handoffs with Wemby, I'm sort of interested in watching that.
I like DeRozan as, like, the third guy.
Yeah, he's a third guy.
You still haven't told me. Now
I don't
you
know.
got
I mean,
the checkbook.
I don't know. You need.
By the way, DeRozan isn't available, so it doesn't matter. But it's just a cool thought
like
that you had.
The dream scenario would have been if Kawhi had been hurt this whole time, and we got the first pick, and then Kawhi is healthy again.
Yeah, and then he says, "Hey, I love you, San Antonio."
He was like Walt Disney, and he was frozen.
And he speaks Spanish.
Like creepy fuck.
And all of a sudden, he speaks Spanish.
He's like, hey,
Wait, what? In a perfect
Mucho gusto,
world,
San Antonio.
I've been here the whole time. I was just sleeping.
I mean, that'd be awesome. He comes out in a mariachi outfit on open ice.
And he does that Kawhi Leonard laugh.
Kawhi's twin brother.
We need a multi-positional two-way player that can handle the ball.
Who is that?
I don't know who's available in the league. That is the Jimmy Butler's, Paul George's, the Kawhi's, the LeBron, just guys that can guard multiple positions at a high level.
Brandon Miller in this draft.
I would have been happy not happy, but that would have been.
It would have been good
consolation.
enough. Yeah.
Miller and Scoot were really nice consolidations.
There's more than that. I think Amen Thompson and Oscar Thompson are going to be really, really good.
What if we just got the twins?
Swap it. Swap the number 1 for 2.
No, we want one and the twins.
I would love it. In this draft, there's a bunch of dudes, man. Anthony Black is the real truth from Arkansas.
Duncanville played for PV.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
PV.
Yeah, kind of got him in trouble, but yes.
Yeah. There was some extracurricular activities with that, but
Yeah, it's a long story.
Something we get into or off air?
I don't think it's really controversial.
yeah, I don't think it was at all. But
No.
it was just UIL stuff and then dating somebody. It wasn't anything.
Yeah. It wasn't terrible.
Scandalous.
Wasn't terrible. But Anthony Black's the truth. Like,
Where did
and
he play
he's gonna
college?
Go, Arkansas. And he's going to go between 6 and 8, and he's really, really good.
The thing with drafts now is like they're 18, 19, 20, so you could draft 28th
And still find a dude.
superstar because they're
Yes.
so young. You don't know.
No, you're
hadn't
absolutely
matured
right.
yet.
You're absolutely right. And that's why so this draft like got shit on early for being just like top heavy. There's 3 guys and then that's it. And then as people have started to study it, which typically happens, people go, "Oh, well wait a minute. There's like
Then
kind of a bunch of dudes."
Brandon Miller showing out at the end of the NCAA year really turned things for that draft because he might go ahead of Scoot.
He could have.
I think he might.
He could.
And
I think
right
Amen,
now he's projected on the mock draft I'm looking at.
yeah.
At 2?
but
Yeah.
I think Amen Thompson might be better than both of them. Honestly, He's 6'8". He's got bounce. He can shoot it. Like he's
can't
he's
shoot
got
great.
he's got attitude, like the good attitude that you want in like
Coachable.
your franchise player. Yeah, coachable.
And this gets into those things like for Texas high school football, where the guys like that went to like overtime elite and they've been like Tiger Woods their entire life. How they're so polished that their ceiling isn't quite as high as you think because they're already been trained.
Yeah.
And the guys that are raw that like are just like
like Anthony Black. Like if you go put him in a gym for like 24 hours a day, as he's going to be when he gets to the NBA,
was a lot
he's going to be a shooter.
Right.
Like you can't be necessarily when you're a student at Arkansas, but when
Is that an oxymoron?
I put a quote, I put a quotation around that.
Well,
yeah.
so they invented the toothbrush in Arkansas.
Did they?
Yeah.
What
Why?
they use it for first?
Any other state, wouldn't it be the teeth brush?
Just the one. It's just the one.
Tooth. Singular. Tooth.
say it now.
No, but you make a really good point there. Is that like you kind of never know, right? And with the NBA draft, with the NFL draft, with all of this, you're playing potential, and all of us pundits who don't get to do the interviews with the dudes are just making guesses. Because how the fuck did the Spurs know that like Kawhi Leonard had a work ethic that was just beyond everybody else?
Right. When they pick Kawhi, I'm like, they got to do that at Fresno State.
I watched him at Fresno State. I was not blown away.
Well, he didn't play at Fresno State.
Sorry, San Diego State. Sorry, he threw me.
My bad.
Like
Thanks, Bear.
he did not blow me away. Like there was nothing about him that was like jumps off the floor and you're like, oh, that guy's great. But then you get him in an interview and you realize the dude's an axe murderer.
Okay, do
right?
we still have those chops though in the back office? Or have they left?
I have no idea.
Because we could find jewels in.
Yeah.
No, this is a different era. You can't find a Manu in the second round anymore. I mean, that's gone.
Yeah, you can't do that.
That's long gone. But
Can we catch lightning in the bottle and get two fucking amazing players?
I mean, we say that, Bear, and Jokic is dominating this, and he was the 41st pick.
Yeah, no, I agree in that that was what 6 years ago, 7 years ago.
I mean, I'm just being devil's
I agree.
advocate.
No, it's true. And he was a really fat, chubby.
He was.
not,
God bless
He
him.
still
Mark
is.
Gasol, Mark Gasol was too. Like those guys. I mean, I guess there are. I don't know. It's just all the work that goes into finding the draft pick, the stuff that we will never know. The four of us.
Did you invite somebody? Is there a ghost
Did you go
here?
to Arkansas? What's just happened here?
Victor, thank you for joining us tonight. No, yeah, we'll let you on the air in a minute. Yeah, no.
How's your English? Cool. If we say anything that offends you, just don't worry about it.
Do you have a Victor Wembanyama impersonation yet? Do you have a French one?
I got to study up on it.
Okay, all right.
I'll get one though.
You will, I know.
I'm gonna have Aunt Phallus interview Victor.
I can't wait.
Oh,
It's
my
gonna
God.
be real good. Aunt Phallus
Oh, my
was
God.
great.
And then we'll get the Macho Man back on there and talk to Wemby. Get him to eat some freedom fries. Be a lot cooler if your country wasn't full of pussies. No sack homos.
I don't even know what else to say.
Oh, my God.
Except we are back.
We're back.
We are back. And like we are not going to Austin.
Nope.
We are not.
Fuck you, Michael Dell.
I mean, I don't know the state of season tickets yesterday. I have a feeling we did not.
I guarantee you,
tomorrow
the Spurs
they're
are
sold out.
Yeah, and the Spurs aren't calling Steward Risk to buy tickets like they were last week.
And
They just got priced
They're not
out.
going to need an HEB raffle to give away tickets.
And hold on. Just to go back a little bit, Mr. Dell, if you would like to sponsor the podcast, we would
I was
appreciate
kidding, dude.
you.
I was
We
kidding.
are very much kidding.
I mean, your computer's
Okay.
great.
Aramark, by the way,
They
a
sold-
week ago
they sold
sold
10%.
5%.
It's 10.
No, they sold 5% of their overall interest. They own 10%. They
Okay.
sold 5%
For $100
for
million?
$100 million, which values it at $2 billion. And Forbes was saying half a billion to $1 billion.
You think they're pissed
if
now?
the Spurs won the lottery.
You think seller's remorse?
I mean, it instantly
Damn
went up
right.
in value for sure.
Who'd they sell it to? Some fucking douche from Austin.
Unannounced.
God, I wish it was me.
Unannounced. I'll tell you a story off air.
Oh, inside player.
Gentlemen, Appreciate y'all coming out for this emergency pod.
It was an emergency.
Fuck yeah, it was.
Go Spurs.
I can't believe it. We've got like 10 years of like
Can we get something better than Go Spurs Go?
GSG. You don't dig it?
I mean, last time I went to a Spurs game, they were still playing. It's like, dude, it's not La Feria anymore.
Hold on. It's in honor of our pick. It's Aller Spurs. Aller.
That sucked, Bob.
God.
We're not doing that.
That's French for. Oh, that's French
I
for
want to
go.
see the male Spurs
Okay.
dancers dancing to Bob's new song.
All right, enjoy your Bud Lights, everybody. Thanks for joining us on the Unrestricted.
How y'all feel out there? Do you feel good? I said, do you feel good? Come on. The groove feel good when it make you move. Make your next move your best move.